Okay, so I made 260 grand last year as a 17-year-old high school dropout, wholesaling real estate part time as a complete beginner. And if you give me 60 seconds, I'll break down exactly how and what I wish someone had told me when I was just starting out a year ago. Because frankly, the traditional way of wholesaling that most people teach online is very outdated and inefficient. And frankly, the way that I wholesale now is not only much different, but it's also just much easier than the way that most people do it. And if I had just known these few things when I was starting out a year ago, I would have been able to make a lot more than 260 grand. And if you want more proof that I'm legit, here you go. Here's some recent deals. I'm not some Miami balcony bro trying to sell you a course. This is actually what I do for a living. And for anyone unfamiliar, wholesaling is just finding people who need to sell their house and connecting them with people who want to buy it and getting paid a finder's fee, but you don't need a real estate license to do it and you never actually buy the house yourself. Okay, so these are the three biggest things that I wish I knew, and number two and three will definitely shock you because they go against what literally everybody tells you to do. But number one, do not cold call or cold text to get your leads. Everybody tells you to do this because it's free, but it actually costs way more than you realize. It takes an average of 6 months to go from lead to close deal and an average of 100 leads to get a single deal under contract. And you're doing all of this for a small deal size, only a 10K average if you're nationwide. And this is because you're unwelcome. They didn't say that they want to sell their house. And because of this, it's also literally illegal. You can very well get fined if you do this. And the only reason people suggest a cold call or cold text is because it's cheaper and saves money compared to inbound marketing. When in reality, if you do inbound marketing correctly, not only will it actually be cheaper than this, but it'll also be way easier, way less leads to a deal, and way bigger deals. And I can literally show you how to do it in 10 seconds. Go to this website. Search for this. Now you can see every Facebook and Instagram ad that other wholesalers are already running and spending money on that work that you can just copy and run for yourself to get leads for $10 to $20 a pop. As you can see, this is what I do for myself, and I get extremely high quality inbound leads super cheap. And it's not at all hard to do that or run these ads. Literally a toddler could do it. It takes an hour to set it up and then you never touch it again. And if you don't have $10 to $20 a day to spend on the ads, literally just do DoorDash 1 hour a day. Number two, it is unethical to not lowball sellers, and here's what I mean by that. The higher up a price you contract a property at, the harder and longer it's going to be to sell that deal, meaning the more likely that something goes wrong. If something goes wrong or if you end up taking too long, you are doing that seller a disservice and you are going to make them unhappy. But vice versa, if you properly lowball them in the sales process and get the property at a very discounted price, you can afford to price the house to sell very quickly and provide them an amazing experience. All of my happiest sellers are the deals I made the most money on. And number three is to never sell any deal off market, even if you can, because the only reason people buy a house off market is to save money and avoid competition, which is exactly what you want when you're selling your deal. When you list it on the MLS, the buyers on there always pay top dollar, whether they're retail or an investor, because they're used to competing and paying extra for the convenience and security of the MLS. You also literally do no work. If you have a good deal and you price it right, it's just answering inbound phone calls, and it's the safest and most compliant for you since every buyer is represented by a licensed real estate agent. And no, you don't need a real estate license to list these on the MLS. Just have the seller sign this one-page document. Once that's signed, just type this in on Google for the city of your deal and use one of these companies. Follow for more game.